This weekend we are spending some time in southern Utah with one of the most well-connected 4Runner owners I know. This is Matt. Matt often hosts meetups in the industry, bringing rig owners together. Matthew is the #1 person I have to thank for my involvement and sense of community in the overlanding world. This weekend takes us to southern Utah, just an hour outside of Moab. We will be spending 3 nights in the desert without ever leaving the dirt. Along the way we will face ice, moguls, and water crossings. Throughout this video, we will take a detailed look at the tools Matt uses to plan trips, the ways which he's involved in the community, and how he has modified his ride for trips like this one. Welcome to Rig Tours, where we feature a rig, but also share our trail experiences throughout. Enjoy. Matthew, I have a confession.
Yeah.
I think you know this by now, but I don't really sit in for the meetings, you know? I don't sit in for the meetings, and I've really come to enjoy that, and I hope it doesn't bother anyone because I have no idea where we're going this whole weekend. I'll review the text, I'll review like the meetup points, but going into these trips with like an ignorance is bliss mentality has been fun to be surprised the whole time. Like when we went to Ouray and Telluride,
Right.
I was blown away because I had no expectations. But yeah, so over the last year, I've been joining some groups or some trips, and it sounds like you host a lot of events on...
Overland Bound is one of the groups that I host events on, and most of the groups I've met through there. There's people that I've included in the process that I've met over the years, but a lot of the groups originate there.
Okay, very cool. Yeah, and even after some of these trips, like a few of the people who, you know, got to talking will end up on other trips as well, which has been a really cool way. Like you're the one person I have to thank for my sense of community and overlanding, so thank you for that. It's been exciting. But why don't you get me up to speed as well as the people, a little bit about the terrain and what we're going to see over the next 2 days.
Yeah. So for today and tomorrow, we've got 2 water crossings. I walked one of them the other day, and
did you have like gators
50
and everything?
feet. I had like waterproof socks I got on Amazon and some like waterproof shoes and swim trunks, and it was cool. I was filming it, and I was like making sound effects as I was filming, and it like wasn't for attention. It's because I was so cold walking through the water, and then I walked, and it wasn't that deep. And then I walked back opposite current. I'm like, oh, this is
this is more difficult.
Yeah. So yeah, 2 water crossings, a lot of dirt, some snow in some areas. There's one area with a shelf road with some frozen snow. Ice. There's some ice. Like I slid a little bit there, and there's exposure. So as long as we go slow there, that'll be fine. And then there's probably some off-camber stuff, some elevation. We're doing a few trails near Goblin Valley State Park.
Okay, very nice. That's exciting. And we have 2 more nights out here.
Yeah.
Right? So that's cool. Usually it'll end up being a 2-day trip. I was excited to score Thursday on this weekend. So I'm pumped for it. We're looking forward to it. Tell me, so it sounds like that was 3 days worth of gas. There's no gas stops because we'll remain on dirt the whole time, and no grocery.
Correct. Yeah. So we filled up gas in Green River, and we'll do these trails, and we'll come out on Sunday and fill up in Hanksville to come back, and about 150, 200 miles, all dirt, and should be a good time.
Sweet. Well, and it's really cool too that we have 11 rigs out here.
Yeah.
And there's some responsibility on your part to host such events, to have, you know, so many people come together, just, you know, making sure everyone gets along and everyone has a safe time out here. And so what are some tools that you might use when planning a trip? Do you use OnX, Gaia, things of that sort? It sounds like you might have scouted this trip in person a little bit too.
Yeah, I've scouted some parts of this trail. Out of the whole trail, I've probably done 30% of it. Okay. So I have a little sense, but there's still a lot of unknowns in that.
Yeah.
And the tool that I primarily use for this is Gaia.
Okay.
And I'm more a creature of habit at this point because I've been using it for so long. And I haven't used OnX that much. Okay. I know OnX is another great, one of the guys that's joining us this morning, he uses OnX. Another newer one I've been testing a little bit is Goat Maps. It's created by the original founders of Gaia.
Okay.
So
I did hear about this, yeah.
Yeah, Outside acquired Gaia, and the original 2 founders, those 3 of them, 2 of them branched off and started Goat Maps. So I'm excited to see what comes out of that, because to take everything somebody learns over 8 years and then start again, there's probably so many cool learnings, and we've got like, yeah, so we'll see what happens with that. I also was using Google Earth. One of the dynamics with 11 rigs is the camp spot. So I have like 7 different potential camp spots along the route. And for 11 rigs, I was looking at Google Earth and zooming in and like, is this a one-way like road that we have to, or what's the logistics? So that's a TBD when we get there. In our drivers meeting today, I'll check in on people and get a gauge of who has a recovery experience, who has first aid experience, who has more mechanical experience, and I have a decent read of everyone's experience levels too, which helps me to create an experience that everyone feels included and taken care of, so that things that could go wrong are minimized.
Yeah, no, that's exciting. Yeah. Well, speaking of the driver meeting, why don't we cut over to that and get with the rest of the group and get on with our trip. But thank you for hosting these. It's really a good time for me, so I appreciate it.
Glad you can make it. I'd say the trails are pretty tame that we're going to experience today and tomorrow. There's most like it was on the drive-in. There's a little bit of snow on some of the sides of the roads. There's 2 water crossings. Yeah, the trails are all scenic and beautiful. And if anything, paying attention is really helpful. I've been on trips with guys that are like staring at Gaia, and they run into a boulder and they bend their tire rod and need to do trail maintenance and stuff. So paying attention is helpful. On our last trip, someone got hung up leaving camp, got high-centered on a rock. So I was on a firefighting engine with a friend once, and he was telling me about the concept of crew resource management. Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Law?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay. Crew resource management, the concept of if you see something that someone it would be helpful for them to know, say something, right? That's the essence of it.
That's part of it, yeah.
What's the other, anything else that'd be helpful?
Division of labor, and, everybody has a job, and double checks,
Okay.
But that's part of it.
The essence of it that I got.
That's an aviation thing.
Okay. Yeah. When he described it to me, it's like if everyone's on the fire engine, big vehicle. Like being able to call stuff out. So if there's trail nuances, if there's a technical issue or someone sees something and something happens, someone goes off the trail, someone goes off the edge, like someone call it out. And on that line of thinking too, I mean, if there is any sort of emergency, just radio break. And that's the sign of like, hey, everyone clear the comms. We're going to have something of priority that's said. Break. We will be out of reception for part of the trail. We'll be kind of going in and out. If anyone needs to contact anyone, I have devices. I could send a text message. Just let me know. For the driver, make sure that the person behind you catches any turnoffs on the trail, so that we're not leaving anyone at any forks in the road. I think most of us have the directions, but making sure that we're all hitting the turnoffs will be helpful. And then the lastly is let's just have some fun and see some beautiful stuff. And if anyone sees wildlife, we might see I've seen pronghorn sheep in this area. I've seen wild horses, I think, once. And rabbit. Nice.
Cows.
Nice cows. Definitely lots of, you saw some this morning?
Yeah, I saw some cows this morning.
Were they on? They were probably pretty close to the trail end? Yep. Yeah.
Watch out for them. They get close to the trail.
It's real. I've been on a trip and someone hit a cow. It just came out of nowhere. I watched his dash cam footage and you're just in the line of sight so all these things matter. And I think that's it. Anyone have any specific questions? Or?
Do we plan on airing down at any point?
Yes. We can air down here. We can air down here.
How are you? Yeah.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
We're headed to the Lone Warrior Pictographs, which is right around here, and then we'll head to the other Pictographs after this.
I haven't seen the Subaru yet on this trip, so when we got up here, I was doing the trail sign, and it's our own group. There's this opening here, which is to keep animals out, so no, we're not just crossing a gate. Chill out. So last year, I gave my interpretation of what the pictographs mean, right?
Of these ones?
I think not these ones, different
Okay.
ones. I think this year, you need to tell the people what they mean.
What I'm looking here was a person who was obviously here a couple hundred years ago, right? What I'm also picking up is there's a little bit of clouds right here. Could be interpreted as a river. This could be a mountain or a jug of some sort, and this is obviously a human.
Edgar just came in here unsolicited and gave me a new patch. It's very nice of him.
You know, we out here right now. What are we doing, Matthew?
Oh, we're doing video. I thought you like wanted me to test your exposure. I'm like, we're kind of dark there right now.
Oh yeah, we are kind of dark. Hold on. I just don't know how he's got it all set up.
Oh, it's Christian.
Let's
Christian.
Let's flip this way.
Oh,
It's a little dark.
we're out right now cruising through down to Goblin Valley State Park.
Dude, it's super dark.
Lots of cows.
Fun part about them stealing the camera. No idea what they say. I'm not gonna see that until post-production, so I hope it wasn't embarrassing because I'm gonna include it. We're halfway through day 2 right now and just hanging out, pulled over to troubleshoot some radio issues for some other rigs out here today. We are making our way down the trail to Goblin Valley, and yeah, it turns out, like, you know, earlier I mentioned I didn't really know where we're going. This whole trip is a ignorance is bliss type of trip for me. The first campsite, been there. And then the rest of this weekend, we end up in an area where I actually filmed with the 1911 Syndicate and H&K like 2 years ago. So that's a pretty familiar place as well. So I'm actually super excited. I guess ignorance isn't bliss because I just told you the whole rest of the trip. But I have a general gist, but it is exciting to go somewhere where we filmed before because I haven't been there in 4 years and I've really wanted to, and that was a special trip for us. So let's get going. Oh God, oh, that was too high for me. Jesse would not approve. Jesse, the ankle surgeon, would not approve. All right, we're at the biggest water crossing of this trip, and while they're doing that in the background, I need to pay some bills. Now here at Crispy Visuals, we specialize in creating high-impact YouTube content. And for the last 7 years, I've helped companies like yours grow their brand by sharing stories through engaging video. It's the Subaru that could. Next up, we've got Matt. As an avid member of the Toyota and Overlanding communities, I'm looking to collaborate with brands and companies in this space. So if you are in this industry, I could help elevate your marketing through consistent and high quality content. Now it's my turn. While we will tailor a media relationship that fits your needs, what we're really trying to push right now is either monthly or quarterly film cycles where we can batch produce content. That way YouTube doesn't have to become a full-time job for you and your team. So if you guys are looking to elevate your YouTube content, shoot me an email at Christian@crispyvisuals and we'll see if I'm a correct fit. Are you driving? All right, Matt, we made it to lunch.
Yes,
You enjoying yourself out on the trails today?
I am. It's gorgeous. It's this view behind us is so amazing.
That's pretty epic. Well,
Yeah.
we made it to lunch, therefore Matt needs to eat, and that means you use a lot of tools in order to do so. So let's run through power supply, fridge, and anything that, you might use on a trail when it comes to food.
Yeah. I first start with 2 rocks to make a fire and to get the
Flint and steel.
flint and steel.
You must be an Eagle Scout.
No. The stove I normally have is the Camp Chef,
Okay.
and I cook on Lodge cast iron. I've got the griddle, different side for flat versus grated, and
Does your cast iron hold a good season? Because I'm
mine
always
does.
struggling. Okay.
I think it does. It's my
Nice.
first cast iron relationship,
Yeah.
if you will. And then I've got a 12-inch skillet and then a Dutch oven
Okay.
that I
very
use.
nice.
So I've got those 3 things. I got a little egg pan if I need, but I use that with the Camp Chef. I have the Camp Chef. It's 20,000 BTUs per burner.
Okay, and that was out here earlier this morning.
that was this morning.
So I do have footage of that we can roll in. So
Yeah.
go on, it's what burner?
That Camp Chef is 20,000 BTUs per burner.
Okay.
I've been in situations where I couldn't heat stuff up enough or fast enough. So it's nice from that perspective.
Yeah, awesome.
And then for power, I use, I have a 135 amp house battery that I use to power all my lights, except my front lights because they pull so much power.
Yeah.
And then I have a Jakari 3000 to power a little Raspberry Pi, my Starlink,
Yeah.
and I'm charging some GoPro batteries right now.
Yeah, man, 3,000's a lot. That could probably run
It's heavy.
a couple of days, right?
That's behind the passenger seat. So it's
Okay.
underneath all that firewood right now.
Oh, nice.
It's about 60 pounds. I did hurt my back lifting. I guess
I'll
you're not
bet.
supposed to lift it and twist.
Yeah.
I didn't understand the twist thing until I was today years old when I learned that.
Oh, man.
So-
learned it the hard way, too.
Oh man, yeah.
And it looks like you're rocking a Dometic fridge. Tell me
Yes.
a little bit about what you got there.
This is a 55 liter fridge, Dometic fridge, not dual zone, single zone. It does have a couple ice for cubed ice
Okay.
for mixed drinks or such.
Nice.
And I sometimes use that. I've used it maybe once. I sometimes will lay some ice cream sandwiches down there and turn that on. Although
Okay.
it only freezes one side because it's more of a freezing plate. But
Yeah.
Dometic fridge works well.
Tell me about the philosophy of dual zone versus single zone. Did you have any thought process with that previous or?
I think the dual zone now are smaller, and each dual zone is smaller. Originally, when I got this 4 years ago, everything just seemed much bigger than I would have wanted. This was also the largest size I could get for this slide out
Okay.
that I have. So it was a little bit of a logistical, this cage covers the fridge.
Yeah, that's nice. And I'm just looking at logos here. Trekboxx.
Yeah, this is Trekboxx. David, shout out to David. He's the guy who started Trekboxx. He was previously a police officer for,
cool.
I believe, 20-year career as a police officer, and he understood like vehicle break-ins and how things are that happens with vehicles. So he designed it with some hidden locks here and there, and the locks are not as cheap as you might find on some other things, other cabinet systems. So
Yeah.
I researched this heavily, and nothing but good experiences. He's been great. He's flown out of state to visit a customer who had just a terrible experience, and he made it right.
Yeah.
And he takes a lot of pride in his work, and he installed it up in Sacramento. He's now in Michigan.
Okay, that's some serious service. I will say a drawer system of some sort, especially with a cutting board and tabletop, you know, setting up my camp table every time, even for lunch today, I'm like, I'm not setting up that table. So I'm gonna make sandwiches on the back seat. But something like this with the 4Runner will eventually have to happen, because that's probably the direction the build would need to go eventually for me. So
I like the space, like this folds up, so I've got like space up here, space down here. I've got the rigged swing out with the cooking table here. And they even have a bigger table now than they didn't have when I first bought it.
Yeah.
And just the space of everything is nice when I'm in like cook mode or cooking for a group of people.
I think that probably does it for lunch. I myself need to eat, so I've got to go and hurry and play catch up. But yeah, thanks for chatting. And Ava, hey, come here, right here, sit. Good girl. Down. Good down. Yes, shake. Yeah. That's a good shake. There you go. Down and dirty lunch. Made sandwiches on the Pelican since I was filming Matt while we were all had the time to do it the right way. So they've been sitting there the whole time, and she didn't eat them, so that's good.
So it's a vacuum.
I'll be right back, okay? I like the stance. Out here shooting all videos, so I'm not gonna leave this trip with any stills. So the whole time we're in Goblin Valley, I'm just gonna do POV photography for you guys. I mean, these are pretty legit.
There was like a scientist there petting me. Hey, look, there's some right there. He's like,
That's crazy. If they drew it up there, the amount of dirt that was here.
Dang. I didn't even think of that.
Well, the rock is so crazy. Like, it's kind of smooth and it's kind of.
Really? So you don't have any Wi-Fi building around the routers or anything like that?
When I take my polarized sunglasses, block the screen protector I have. The squat with Wah in the background. Come on, man. Get the angle. I wanted to be in the canyon, but by the time I wanted to take a photo, the pavement started, so I thought pavement would make for a weird photo. But car photos with a 100 to 400 millimeter make for a really, really good vibe. Hey, what's up? Stay. Stay. Dude, Wah's truck looks so good. 100's a little too close right now. I don't want to switch yet. This is why I brought this 100 to 400. I love these shots. Oh my god. I like those shots. I don't get what's so special. I used to make these at the beach all the time. This horizontal shot's a lot better than the vertical. It's also why I like shooting with the telephoto. It's just such an easy way to be like, that's definitely not an iPhone shot. Good, stay, Ava, stay. Look at me. Hi. Sit. Good, sit. Up. No, right turn. Right turn. Good, right turn. Here, sit. Oh. Break. Good break. All right, Matthew, it is us from the future, right? This is playing from earlier in the video, but I gotta tell you, the more I'm getting into this and, you know, seeing other rigs and learning from practical experience, I'm starting to question my choice in 4Runner, where I think that, you know, the more you do this, you're like, there's a good chance that the Tacoma could be a little bit more practical. So why don't you give me the philosophy on your choice of not only Toyota, but also 4Runner? Like, what's the philosophy behind your vehicle choice?
I'll start with the 4Runner. So SUV 4Runner, I like that I can crawl from the front to the back, the connectedness of the whole thing. I'm a huge fan of that. The Tacoma, however the sleeping system would be, we need to get out and do something, whereas with this, if I really need it, I can crawl over the front seat, and that's the main reason, I think. Yeah, I didn't consider Tacoma. I went straight for 4Runner.
Okay. Well, we're here with a couple Army guys, and that was also their choice in terms of getting a 4Runner. It's that, like, they were sleeping in the cab of a truck and they felt vulnerable or at risk, whereas, you know, with your setup, you could be behind the wheel and get out of Dodge real quick. So if there was ever any, you know, any instigation or any conflict at camp, it seems like you're kind of able to get out of there a little bit. Which kind of fits a little bit what you were saying. Is to crawl from the front to the back. Is that to mitigate any danger of conflict?
A little bit, and then just the comfort of, gosh, and I think that was the main reason. I just liked everything. I think I liked the way it looked a little bit more than a classic truck. I liked just more of the look of it.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah. And
that was what drew me into the 4Runner. It's a great looking car. Yeah.
And in terms of why Toyota, I think the one word people think of with Toyota is the reliability, right?
Yeah.
The 511 Tactical Company has this mantra, always be ready.
Okay.
And when I think about what reliability gets me, when I think about what reliability gets me, it gets me preparedness in different situations.
Okay.
I've driven into the Wyoming Medicine Bow Route forest and come across a father who couldn't find his son, and there was a family, and like there was an emergency there, right? And like I needed to be able to respond with my vehicle however I needed to. Or I've been in the middle of Death Valley and a child had a 3-inch gash in his hand and we had to evac and get to a hospital, really. Like, or different other situations that I've been in multiple wildfire evacuation zones. I've been evacuated, and like I need to get out, I need things to work, right? So the reliability of not needing to worry about some things that other vehicle manufacturers have to worry about that seems silly has been great.
Well, in last trip, I think you hit the 100K club.
Yes, so, on the last trip we were on, that was fun.
Yeah, that's super cool. I think you get a sticker or something, but even better than that, it sounds like you haven't had any serious issues or maintenance outside of that. I'd be a little surprised. With
No, nothing too out of the ordinary.
Heck yeah, and you've done all regular maintenance. You
all regular maintenance.
I wouldn't question that.
I've been doing Toyota special conditions when I do oil changes or anything like that. If I'm taking it to the dealer, special conditions because of the way I use it. But yeah,
do you intend to keep this forever?
My thinking on that is right now I'm happy. I don't see myself getting anything right now. I give myself the grace that in 10 years something might change, but for right now, I think I'm going for the million mile club right now. So I like it, and it takes a lot of time too to like do all these things. Everything that's been installed, I've driven to the company's state. The Sherpa installed the roof rack in Colorado. The Westcott lift, I drove to Arizona.
And those aren't requirements, but rather a choice. Or do you?
Those are a choice. No, I like the quality of the person who built it. Probably knows best.
That's a cool philosophy.
The Trekboxx, I drove to Sacramento. He moved to Michigan. I drove to Michigan to like just meet him and see his new. So
when seeing the facility and where something comes to life is really exciting too. Like going to Bozeman to have the Go Fast installed. I expected kind of a Jiffy Lube experience where you're in the next room and you can't really see what's going on, or there's a small glass window. They had an open bar, or maybe not an open bar, but there was like nice little seating area with all the merchandise. There was tents on display, like free Red Bull. Like,
That's
it
cool.
was really
Yeah,
cool. It
that's
was
cool.
kind of a cafe hangout while you're treated, you know?
Yeah.
It was
yeah.
a great experience. So
Oh, that's cool. I
it's
love
cool
that.
to know that you've also had a similar experience installing some of your gear as well.
Yeah. No, it's been great.
These guys are out here switching trucks. Did you know Edgar's license was suspended?
You're lying. Hey, licenses don't matter in the off-road.
I bet that was nothing for a while. Easy. We're about 24 hours into a trip. We're approaching a water crossing here shortly. I think that's gonna be like my first cool guy water crossing, which, hey, it's a good time. I guess I did cross Tokerville Falls, so not a super new water crossing.
Going to the left there, Ben, which clearly is not an option.
Losing options as we're speaking. Earlier I called it a cool guy water crossing. It's still pretty cool, but it's not quite as epic as I thought it'd be. Should have let Ava drive. About 24 hours into every trip, I start to get a little philosophical, which even scares myself. And last time it was about how overlanding kind of resembles childhood, where we don't really miss the freedom or the inexperience. We miss having new opportunities. That was the philosophical lesson last time. This time is that sometimes the best places in the world are more about an experience than the view. Like, out here, it's raw, it's ugly, it's gray, and I know cameras aren't doing it justice, but if it really comes down to it, like Goblin Valley, for example, it's cool, it looks good, but once the experience of walking through all of the different features, my car's not started, I'm trying to put in drive. It's actually walking through the Goblin Valleys. I should have let it idle down, I know. So it's the experience and not so much the view that makes these places so great. And that even extends to the general area where we're at right now, where it's like you could get cool looking pictures, nice looking content, but I really think it comes down to the feeling that it provokes instead of, you know, the actual visuals which you're seeing. It's more about the experience. And I guess the visuals would be an experience. I don't know, I'm no philosophical person. That's just how I'm feeling right now. So I want to share it with you guys. Got Ava staring at a nice sunset. Sorry, got the ass view. I have been the most distractive off-road driver this trip. No real bad calls, but yeah. We got a buddy out here sending it. He says, how much water do you want? And so he sent it. He gave us all the water, dude. Here's the picture.
Highlands, but just because it's part of the national park, you can say that hey, they'll get stuck. There is some sections where they say it's a little bit more technical, but honestly,
some exposed.
It's depends on who you talk to, right? So,
yeah. You see that, Zach? We've been watching YouTube videos about Subies doing this trail just to make sure that you're taking care of it.
That's nice of you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
I'm just kidding.
I just want to be prepared, like because like we've never done this trail before.
We just haven't done it.
I appreciate it.
Just in
Ben's
case.
done it. Ben's done half of it.
I've done half of it.
So he did bail because we had a Zoom call after we talked. Him and I had a Zoom call, and we were wondering. I was wondering if you bailed halfway through. Sounds like you did. So
and was it was intentional? It wasn't because you were like, oh, your hair's like on fire, and you're like, no.
So why did you bail?
Just it wasn't more so I bailed. It was like I was doing a loop. It was a different route that I had planned through.
Did you have any other commentary on Cathedral Valley Loop that is worth knowing, or is it pretty much like it's seeing some exposure, be mindful of tech stuff?
Yeah, from what I remember, like it's not anything crazy.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything that's just like, oh, it's got me. Most of the time, I'm pretty sure I kept it in two-wheel drive. Like,
okay.
And honestly, like just like from the road to here, like there was some technical things here.
Yeah.
So I feel that if everyone is comfortable with this level, it should be fine. Oh, 100%. I don't think there's anything like that on it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, I really don't think there is.
We even yesterday did some stuff that probably was a little more than that.
Yeah.
Exposed. So I think we'll be good.
Yeah. Nice.
That's so cute. That's a cute dog. You ready to go off-roading, huh? Ava, Matthew, you wanna know the best thing about a 3-day trip?
What's that?
You get 2 full days on the trail.
Yes.
2 full days of activity. So I think we're about to hit the trail.
Yes.
Got more terrain, probably similar to yesterday. Why don't you tell me a little bit about your driver's mods, your, tires, suspension, everything like that.
So I've got the larger tires. I have the 285/70/17 33-inch Falken Wildpeaks E-rated.
Do you have to trim for that at all?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have the, so related, I have the Westcott lift in front. I went down to Arizona, I had them install that. And then I did some trimming in the front just off the plastic body. And then I did a body chop mount and then a pinch weld. And I'm still rubbing a little bit sometimes, like on steep switchbacks, turning. I'll hit it a little bit. So there might be one more mod in there, but I'm getting really close to getting that sorted. So I
feel like you probably are the type of person to track this. Did you go from stock to the... I want to know how going to 285s impacted your MPGs.
Yeah. I get like probably 13 on a good day.
Okay.
I also have a lot of weight too.
Yeah.
So I'm probably like 800 pounds over stock.
Okay.
And related to that, which affects the miles per gallon, related to that is in the rear, I have the Old Man Emo 3-inch medium rated springs to account for that weight. And part of that also is because I have the rig swing out in the rear.
Okay, yeah,
so
that where a lot of it comes from.
Yeah, that like by itself is 200 pounds, tire 80 pounds or so with the wheel. And so that behind the rear axle makes a big difference. So the 3-inch lift, the thought would be like, I don't ever want a negative rake because I had that. I had a negative 2-inch rake for 8 months or something and I was hitting stuff. It was just terrible and it lasted too long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Craziness. Well, when you're on the trail, you need to talk to your buddies. You put me on to, is it Baofeng?
Yeah.
And then an extra battery and antenna. And that whole kit was like not a lot of money,
Yeah.
And it was enough to get me up. I, through you, have recommended that to a lot of people, and it's working out for a lot of people.
Nice.
I think I'm a ways away from getting much nerdier than that someday, But why don't you tell me a little bit about the general comms that you're running?
Yeah, I have the Baofengs. I have 4 of them.
Okay.
And I have the Midland 50-watt radio. And I've gotten about 50 miles on a good day with that.
Okay.
It's pretty open. So, and I've been in situations where I've needed those types of things too. So it's been really helpful for that. I also have been running a Zoleo and Garmin. Each of them, they're different communication priorities. The Garmin would ring nonstop until I answer it. The Zoleo is more for quick check-ins. I now have just the new Garmin Messenger Plus, which can do video and voice notes, or photo and voice notes.
Oh man,
which is kind of cool. Yeah, I just got it like a week ago, and it's pretty slick. It was Garmin's first update in a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna likely ditch the Zoleo, most likely.
Okay.
Unless they would just give it to me like on the subscription, because I really have no need for it at this point. The Garmin does everything.
Yeah.
Plus the search and rescue insurance is way better.
Garmin for the win.
Yeah.
Sweet.
So comms, Midland. I think that's that.
And then an iPad mounted for OnX and Gaia.
Yeah, I have an iPad mounted in the driver's seat for that, yeah.
Is it a mini or pro?
It's a Pro 12.9 inch, I believe.
Okay, nice.
Yeah.
That must be nice. I should do that.
It's nice, it's nice. The touchscreen on the Toyota is with Gaia, there was some bugs, and that's why I got the iPad at first, because there was so many, it was just so buggy.
Okay.
And it's half Toyota, maybe a little bit of a lot of Gaia too, with just certain things I was experiencing. And they went back and forth on support, but I could solve certain things. But
okay. Well, the iPad for the win. Yeah. Sweet. And then in 30 seconds, if you're driving at night, how are you lighting up the trail?
Yeah, I've got the Diode Dynamics Max fog lights in the front here. I've got the Diode Dynamics SS5 Pros in the front. I've got side lights.
Okay.
I think they're the SS2s, Pros on the side, 2 on each side, and then I've got the light bar in the rear, the KC light bar. which is
Yeah.
made by a company.
You sure sold me on that one.
Yeah, it's bright. It's like it's great. I've had people just get some other one and they're like, this is, you can barely see this when there's someone dust getting kicked up and
well,
stuff.
and it has an integrated third brake light too, doesn't it?
It does, yes.
Okay,
I have a mountain bike mounted back there, so I've got the brake lights, the blinking lights, and the running lights, which is great. I'm driving it even on the freeway in like a snowstorm or something. Like, I want people to see me.
Yeah.
I've been complete fog, you know, can't look 10 feet. I want people to see me. So there's a backlight on the front lights, which I'll turn on if I'm in a situation that warrants it.
And then you've got the rock lights, which are a great ambiance for camp.
Yeah, great ambiance for camp. I've got 8 of those, 4 on each side.
Nice.
And then I do have the Diode Dynamics floods in the rear for my chase lights.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much it. And that's good for me on lights. I'm set. The last thing to do is a front bumper, but that's another conversation.
Someday, right?
Yeah.
But, well, very cool. Maybe later today, if we end up having time after dark, we'll get some footage of that we can put in. And I think you have didn't you program or have a nice little setup so you have different modes that you can set? And were you running it from your phone too? Or?
Yeah, so I've got a Raspberry Pi with a Verizon hotspot. And the Verizon hotspot Raspberry Pi is integrated with my lights. So I could, with an iPhone action button, turn on my lights anywhere within the Wi-Fi range, which is more than Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So like 1,200 foot range. So I could be...
I mean, come on. Are other people doing this, or is this just Matt?
No, this is just Matt. I've been down to Baja Designs and I was showing them and like nobody's done that at all.
It's so insane.
So it's from my phone, and then I also have a microphone, so the truck's named Rex. So I could say, hey Rex, leader mode, or I could say, hey Rex, leader, and it turns on the front brights and it like auto goes into the configuration I want.
Yeah, we'll need to do a once over later on all of that. Cause that's really cool. That's probably one of the ways where the rig will really, be like so unique from everybody.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole personalization on its own.
Yeah, and that's done with the Baja Designs S-Pod unit. The Switch Pros and the aux beam, they don't have the terminal block that allows me to connect from the Raspberry Pi to the light. So that's why I can do that.
Okay.
None of the other systems that allow for that too.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Well, cool. I think that does it. Let's hit the road and see what the rest of Southern Idaho has in store for us.
Cool.
Sweet.
You want to say Southern Utah?
It's just an ongoing joke for me because I don't want to spoil any of the locations. Better vertical composition. So this is way cooler than I thought from far away. Gosh, photos will not do that justice. on, Ava. Oh shit! Hang on, Ava. Shit, there goes a pelican hitting the window.
I was getting a little bit of mud there. Mostly just calling that out for everyone's awareness. I'm not sure how much that will impact other parts of the road here, but I was getting a little bit of mud.
Sounds like it'll make it fun. Alright, halfway through day 3. I'm losing count. We are in Capitol Reef National Park right now. It's a good time so far. It's pretty windy, so I've kind of let videography take the back seat, so I haven't been vlogging a whole lot. I have been running the hat camera, just, you guys have already seen this, but running some stills. A lot of the time on trips like this, when I do decide to do video, I start to neglect still photography, and I think I probably like still photography even more than video. So just got to make sure to balance the two art forms, you know what I'm saying? So we got views like this, views like that. We're on our way to the lunch spot right now. Guys, that chicken sandwich last night was gnarly. It was so good. I barely cook like that. Okay, I cook like that at home a little bit, not daily, but dude, that slapped. I'm usually really bad at chicken on the GSI stovetop. Got it handled. It worked out this time. So yeah, it's a fun time out here. Everybody's doing really good. Edgar, me, and Ben have been at the tail, and we kind of wait for everyone to get a little bit of distance ahead of us so that we can hoon, you know what I mean? And just really hit it and drive fast. So I hit 65 on dirt today, which might not have been too smart at 22 PSI, but look at this vista. I'll probably have to adjust the exposure, but oh my God. All right, Edgar, French press time, right?
French press.
Post coffee lunch. Yeah, that's the money shot. Dude, I haven't had coffee since we've been out here. I did cheat and have a Monster, but I haven't had caffeine otherwise.
We've been living off of coffee now.
Been what?
Living off of coffee.
Yeah, you guys have had a lot, huh?
Yeah.
But hazelnut, that's an odd choice for you. I'm just kidding.
I was gonna say, what?
Yeah, that's my choice. Are you gonna go see the sinkhole?
Yes.
Yes. He said there was no sinkhole, but word has it,
Turns out I was looking in the wrong spot.
there is a sinkhole. Let's go check it out. Got Edgar set up. We just finished lunch. I had leftover manwich. I got Jeff, Wyman, Zach, Jeremiah, Cassiano, Wah, Matt, Crispy Visuals, Ava Ray. You know your initials is ARF. Ava, you've been downgraded. There was signs right here. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Okay, bye. Bye, Ava. Coffee, check. Ice, check. Real fast in and out. People are ready to get out of here. Oh, trying to switch a camera around. Poured hot coffee. This is a 5.5 mile out and back hike. Pretty treacherous. 16,000 foot elevation. I think that's about where planes fly. Okay, grand reveal. I'm gonna take it in for like 4 seconds. Damn. Okay, it's cool. Whew. Hello.
Wow.
It's slippery. I misjudged my step. I'm glad Ava didn't find this. A really big dog dug this hole, is what she said. Alright, I'm in and out real quick. Cannot keep this many cars waiting on you. Silly YouTube kids. At least we're the back of the convoy, which just means that people can leave and we'll still catch up. Edgar and I aren't afraid of speed. Ava, go. Good go. Yes, go. Nice job. Oh, look at that. Look at all the mud that you got in here. Look at all the mud you got in here. Okay, we got place. Oh my God. And you stepped on the G Master. Why did you step on the G Master? Alright, so we just finished our lunch. Delicious leftover manwich. Slaps. That was easy. Honestly, I might cook more manwich. I didn't forget the meat sauce this time. So I might cook more manwich because I got 2 meals instead of 1. Dank. And even better yet, the coffee, bro. I feel like I've come back to life. I'm feeling great. And there is, in fact, a campground with a restroom ahead of us. So if you're like me, that's good news. We just ran into another overlander, best friends since the moment we met him. No, I'm just playing. But he did deliver a message, and the message that he let us know is that we are approaching some switchbacks, and the said switchbacks are actually covered in ice. So I thought it was a joke at first. They're like, hey, let's send the Subaru and the Jeep up first because they're the least capable vehicles. No offense, no offense. I'm not the one who said it. I'm just relaying the message. I don't know that we should group the Jeep with the Subaru. That's my own personal opinion, so you can take offense to that. But anyway, so we're sending up, I thought it was a joke, we're sending up the least capable vehicles first so that if they can't make it, we know that I wouldn't make it. And so then I don't have to risk it. I'm just kidding. It's so that we don't all get up there and then realize that those who couldn't make it and then have to come back down. So we're just mitigating some risk here. It sounds like we're picking up the pace a little bit. Thank you, race car nation over here, but I'm excited. It just means that if we wait a little bit longer, the shade could start to freeze more ice and impact the conditions. So picking up a little bit of a pace and heading to, I think it's just camp. There might be a few other features here in National Park. I don't know any in Idaho, but this is the biggest one in Idaho, and it's pretty cool. Are you camera shy? Hey doggy, I love you. It looks like a bomb went off in here, but I still love you. Alright, we're green lit to make it up the hill. They pretty much just said everyone can go now. There's traffic at the top trying to come down, so these equipped rigs are gonna be following at about this distance. None of us are sweating it at all. Good practice just to leave them a little bit more distance, probably more than this in case someone comes sliding back my direction. So wait a second, which means I can do cameras and drive. I do enjoy having girlfriend on trips sometimes so that I'm able to have assistance with this part of the job. I have to admit, these are not as steep as I was kind of expecting going into this. Ooh, that 24 to 70 looking really good right now. I love this lens. Eventually I'm probably gonna have to do Sony mounted windshield videography if I do end up getting into this a little bit more. I have the A7R5 with the 24 to 70 sitting passenger right now, and next to that is the A7S3 with the it was Sony's latest lens when I got it. It's the 16 to 25. I don't know. They probably released other stuff. This is on the A7S3. Both of these lenses have been shifting camera to camera, and yeah, I guess while we're here. So Edgar, it looked like he was in reverse, but only the left reverse light came on, so that was odd. Show you guys what this looks like on the 16 mil. So I just recently drove something really similar to this in Bountiful, Idaho. It was, okay, in Bountiful, Utah, haha, you guys are tired of the joke. I went down something a little bit crazier than this with that, and we did pretty okay, so I'm feeling pretty good. I've been very much into like a soft indie and kind of vintage rock pattern overlanding. It's so odd how my choice of vehicle has impacted my taste of music. Like when I had the BMW, I was a huge connoisseur of rap music. I loved all of it, and living in the city, it felt appropriate. I still have mad respect. I think it's musically beautiful. Like rap it's awesome by all accounts, you know what I mean? But when you're doing this type of thing, it never actually feels like the appropriate soundtrack. And so, hey, here's Matt Looking good. Looking good. But yeah, like I've just been listening to older stuff and stuff that feels more appropriate out here in the desert. And I truly think that me getting back into punk rock and early 2000s metal is a lot more soft metal. Sorry, I'm not into real metal, but I think that's all to blame is simply my choice of vehicle, which is odd. Hard to ask for a much better view than that one. I love the little windows of time that you have to quickly see and overlook, and to hit something at this time of day just makes it all that more special. I think next up is just getting to camp, figuring out a little bit of Matt's bed situation, his setup, and then calling it a trip. I think I'm gonna try and get home early tomorrow.
Hi, little baby. Hi, little baby. Hi, little baby.
We're not faking this for the camera. She, with her staticky hair. Yeah, that's a look. You gotta stay in the car again, Ava. I'm sorry. See you in a little bit. Look how cute this is gonna be. Hold up. Aww. Alright, Matt, it's the third and final night. We're out here and it's cold, so we're gonna fly through this.
Nice.
Right? But yeah, now that we're away from the fire, I think it's time to get a nice warm bed. You want to show us your sleeping situation?
So I've got a sleeping platform here with the Trekboxx. I've got the back side of it and the front side sleeping platform, which is behind the passenger seat. So there's storage underneath it, sleeping platform right here. And that's just an REI R4 sleeping mat. I'll roll out. I have a sleeping bag liner, and then I'm in a 0 degree Coleman sleeping bag.
Okay, nice.
That's usually if I'm just doing a quick overnight or I'm just sleeping in here. It's kind of cozy, but in single digits, it works well because it's cozy. And if I'm somewhere for a few nights or if I'm with someone else, I have a Gazelle 4-person tent. So I'll bust that out, and sometimes I'll work in there and set up a desk and a heater and stuff. So that's for longer nights, and then this is for a quick overnight.
Yeah. I feel like it'd be fun to set up a traditional tent every once in a while, just to switch it up.
The space is nice because this is cozy. Like I have to get in from the passenger, rear passenger side, and I've got a little laundry bag that I have that I take my shoes off because they're full of mud sometimes or something, and then I'll put that inside.
Nice. And so this is the other half of the Trekboxx then?
Correct.
The platform.
Yeah, if you want to walk over here, you can see that if it helps.
So the drawer probably goes to about where the back seat would have been.
Correct.
And then there's a top-down storage.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, show me the front half of that just so we can get a feel for the inside of the rig.
Yeah. So you can see right here, I've got, this is what I'll roll out. I've got a fleece blanket, a little down blanket, water here. And this whole part is the part of the platform.
Nice.
So it's pretty leveled.
All right, it's our third and final night. A lot of the time I'll get home from a trip and realize I didn't actually get pictures or video of camp. So let's give you guys a little bit of a tour of camp right now. I am currently frying up some brats. I just boiled them to temperature, and yeah, so let's run through just a little bit of the tailgate here. I have the Blue Eddy, which is kind of letting me down a little bit this trip, but that's kind of a theme of this channel. Usually the stove goes up top. I've been doing a dry pantry with, a little overexposed here, hold up. Doing a dry pantry in Tupperware, and that's been a really clutch move. Gatorade, didn't even bring water on this trip, which is kind of an L besides this, but I like bottled water. And then this is all sorted. This is if the body needs something, if the truck needs something, and then straps for an awning. Water, diesel heater, everything goes here. Set power fridge, no changes there. I recently did get these planos, which pretty cool. They help out with like packing, and they're not really organized, so maybe not organization. No changes in cookware. So yeah, tonight's kind of the easier dinner. Brats, I have Dijon mustard and buns, and that's pretty chill. We're gonna set up and talk a little bit about Matt's sleeping rig and follow up with any other questions that we haven't finished yet. This thing has been checking out, it's been working. The clips are not tactile at all, so loading and unloading, it's been kind of interesting, but I have to take it down because I don't have a swing out yet. Tent, no changes there. I'm neighbors with Matt, Jeremiah, Wah, and then we've got Cassiano all the way over there. Pretty good deal. We're in crash camp at Edgar's. Pull out fridge. Hello.
Yo.
How you living?
Good.
You on dog duty?
Yes. I'll be back.
Nice.
Unless you want to follow me.
I'm probably not gonna follow you. I'm only one mic'd up. I just wanted to show people your rig. Okay. So it's looking good. Again, swing out looks nice. Ava's gonna follow him. The wind died down. I was expecting it to be really windy. I have the black strap ski mask and beanie and the big old coat. So I'm doing good. Without this, it would be pretty cold. It's important you hear this for 2 reasons. First, because it's a great sentiment. And second, because when I showed this video to friends and family, they all said it needed a better ending. Anytime I return home from a trip like this, I feel refreshed. And really, that's the whole point of these adventures. But here's something worth considering. I think we give too much credit to the places we visit for these feelings. The truth is, it's not the landscape or the trails that leave us feeling alive. It's the people. These trips push us to be present, to connect with those who we enjoy, and break out of the routines that keep us on autopilot. That's why I'm thrilled Matthew was part of the first episode in this series. His ethos centers on connection, and he's a perfect example of someone who truly lives in the moment. If you're looking for ways to stay connected like Matthew, check out the tools which he created at overlandpeople.com. It's a platform dedicated to keeping you in the loop on overlanding, showcasing amazing content, and providing tools to help you learn and grow within this space. And with that, we wrap up the first episode, because in the end, it's the people, not the places, which make these journeys unforgettable. P.S. Matthew selected this video on screen which he thinks you'll enjoy.